Hello and welcome back to Camp Ash. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is in the Dale route. And it's actually the last part of the Dale route. So, if you recall, the Gila, Miriam Moore, is probably dead. Ernesto Alvarez is dead. He was drowned. And now they're being chased by something coming from the lake, which is not the previous killer from the Janus route. I don't remember, did they actually mention what it was? If they didn't, then it's gonna be a surprise to you. If they didn't, then you already know what it is. They are also followed by Trisha Hendricks, who was basically the one that warned Dale Cooper and Chip Ronson, like, hey, you guys want to book it? Because there is something following you guys who are swimming in the lake. So yeah, the thing in the lake is following them. They got out, but it's still following them, and now they have to get to safety, because otherwise they're gonna end up being food for it. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're about to see whether or not, Chip Bronson and Dale Cooper end up making it out safe. And if they end up making it out together, because, they did things, and perhaps this could lead to something else, something nice for them. But what is Janice gonna say? Anyway, so yeah, without further ado, let us finish out Dale Cooper's route. Get up! Get up! Trisha is pulling at my wrist, trying to drag me from the floor. Dale moves to the side just as my wobbly legs finally catch up and letting themselves be dragged to the dry ground. What the hell is that? Dale is behind us, the three of us running back to the camp center. I turn my head to look back. A scaled thing is pulling itself up clumsily from the water. It's bipedal, but its face is squished and posture gaunt and closed. It looks like a sentient fish. Hurgling at us from the water, a foul hissing escaping that constitutes its equivalent of lips. Large claws extend from its paws, almost a half-foot of razor-sharp death. Sections of the dock are slick from where the creature accidentally stabbed the wood, trying to pull itself towards us. Their face is blank, empty, eyes glossy and glazed over, but it tracks us perfectly, whatever it is, not blind despite what it looks like. Don't fucking stop running! Trisha leads us into the mess hall, the three of us pushing through the doors in a desperate attempt to get away from the creature chasing us out of the water. Dale slams the door behind us, heaving and panting as he slams it shut. Before I realize what I'm doing, I'm stacking chairs and tables against the door, giving Dale a chance to sit down as we barricade the front entrance. What the fuck is going on? Where have you been? Janice and Duke are in the mess hall, staring at us from the table that we sat at yesterday. You two look like shit. Get the back door to the kitchen. Trisha runs off, grabbing a chair in each paw as she races through the kitchen. Bronson, tell me what's going on right now. And why are you two in your underwear? My chest feels like it's collapsing as I try to get enough oxygen. God, let them take a second to catch up. I don't want them puking in here if we're stuck inside with all that crap in the way. Janice and Duke stare at Dale and I as we come down crashing hard from the adrenaline. Put your paws on your knees. It'll help orient yourselves to calm down. I listen to the weasel, even as he rolls his eyes. Janice brings us each a cup of water. I'm able to take it on shaky paws after a while, sitting down against a chair on the barricade and taking a long gulp to rehydrate myself and calm down. What is going on, Chip? There's something out there. Something not right. Is it the hunter? That psycho have a gun or something? No, it's like us, like a person. What do you mean like a person? It's a fish on two legs with a face and chest. Bull fucking horseshit. You two have gone crazy in the sun. Fish people aren't real. Have you been smoking while reading Dale's pulp magazines again? They're not lying. Trisha stumbles in from the kitchen. It was behind them in the water. It was catching up to them, swimming faster than the both of them. They just made it in time, but it followed us out of the lake. It followed them? A fish? Yeah, right out of the water. It moved like a person, except it had long claws, longer than any real feral predator. I knew that you were a nerd, Hendricks, but this is insane. You can't expect us to believe any of that. It's out there. It was right behind us. It looked at us. It was coming right after us. So you let it back here, where me and Janice were safe before you showed up. It was gonna kill us. It would have just been 3 of you if you just stopped and think for a second. The doors to the mess hall clang in a terrible crash, the barricade jostling for a second against the barrier. Ah! What the fuck did that? Is this your fish person now? There was another bang at the door, the barricade moving even further this time. It manages to hold as the door creaks open a few inches. Help us hold it! Dill and I slam into the barricade, holding it shut against the repeated attempts to break it. Trisha starts to gather more chairs to stack against the door. Whoever's out there, say something. There was another bang against the door. Dill and I are getting shoved backwards a few inches despite putting all of our weight against the front. This isn't funny. Stop that. A fourth bang rattles the doors again. Fuck it. Is it a feral bear? Duke goes to a window and looks out, standing on his tippy toes to look out. What the fuck? The weasel skitters back from the window, presumably catching a glimpse of the monster just outside. What is it, Duke? Shit. They weren't lying. It's some kind of thing. You gotta take a look at it. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? Whoa, wait, where's Miriam? Can she get inside while the doors are both blocked? Another class jostles the front door. Duke runs up to the barricade, holding it closed with us as Janice starts to help Trisha gather more furniture. We don't know. What do you mean that you don't know? Something. Probably that capsized our boat in the middle of the lake. Oh my god. It didn't attack us then, it just left. We ferried Miriam to the shore and we went to get firewood and kindling to warm up after she was in the water for too long. You left her alone? When we came back, she wasn't there. The doors are bashed in again, this time sending the 3 of us men tumbling to our feet, the barricade shifting further for the stronger push back yet. Trisha and Janice go to hold it as the 3 of us on the ground scramble to make it back up again. She had just started building a fire pit, but when we got back, there was just a line in the sand leading towards the water. You didn't look for her? We didn't know that it was there. We waited for her, shouted a couple of times, and walked around to see if she came back. It didn't make any sense for her to be in the water. Maybe she got away. You said that it didn't get closer till later, right? Well... What? Well, what? What is it? We saw a leg in the water on the way back. A leg? A leg with black and orange scales. Miriam! Trisha falls to the ground, screaming out in sorrow as she starts to sob, weeping in the tiled floor. Miriam! No! The sheep's words are choked and indistinct. I'm sorry. There is a final push on the door, this time not as strong as any of the others. I'm so sorry. The rest of us catch our breath, leaning against the barricade just in case. Janice goes to Trisha's side, helping the sheep up and offering her my unfinished cup of water. Is it gone? I brace myself ready for Duke's question to summon it back from the ether. There isn't another shove and nothing that we can hear outside. It's okay, Trisha. I know it's so hard. You can't blame yourself, though. Janice is doing her best to calm Trisha down, the coyote rubbing the sheep's back over and over again. Trisha's face is pale and eyes distinct as she finally calms down enough to breathe again. She does her best to collect herself, tears still streaming down her face. It is my fault, though. If I didn't go out last night, we would have just stayed in the cabin and maybe this wouldn't have happened. Where did you go out to? You weren't in the cabin last night? When I woke up, it was only me too. Same. The other 2 were gone and I figured that they went out to shower or something before me. Where did you go last night, Trisha? I don't want to say. It's a matter of life or death if you haven't noticed. We're already down 2 people. Now he cares someone is fucking dead. Promise that you won't judge me? Sweetie, one of our closest friends is dead because of that thing. I don't care about anything like that. I just want to get out of this in one piece with you, okay? I was out with Ernesto last night. She barely says the wolf's name, doing her best to whisper it under her breath. That fucking fruitcake likes chicks? Okay. Where did you two go? What did you do? He said that he wanted to get to know me more after the party. I ran into him at the staff restroom at night. Trisha, that just means that he wanted to have sex with you. I know, and knew. So I said yes and went with him. That's only the second most surprising part of the story. Why didn't you say something earlier? You know that I would have loved to hear something scandalous like that. It's not like you did anything wrong, like cheat on someone. He couldn't have gotten you pregnant as a wolf either. I didn't want anyone to blame me after we found him this morning. You didn't think that it was important enough to bring up? She just let me and Dale get blamed for it. We went out by the lake, past the boathouse. Dale looks at me, face pale. They could have heard or seen the two of us. He brought a few blankets and built a fire. We did it just right out there, next to the water. It was fun, exciting. I really just felt safe with a wolf like that. What? I trusted him is all. Well, did you guys come back after? No. He said that he was gonna go bring us some drinks and snacks and never came back. Shit. I figured that he ditched me, but I didn't want to ditch him, so I just stayed there. It wasn't too hot or cold with a blanket next to the lake. Fuck. It must have gotten him then. Why didn't it come for you then? If you were next to the lake. My blood runs cold. Dale is averting my gaze completely, face totally locked in on Trisha. We were on the lake the whole night. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I figured that he might have just fallen in while he was drunk when we saw him. I couldn't think about what you guys would think if you knew that I was out with him, or suspected me of doing anything wrong. And now what are we supposed to think? I didn't know that it was a monster. If it wasn't, and he just did fall in, me saying something or not wouldn't have changed him being dead. Duke stops sitting down against the barricade. He grabs a cigarette from his pocket and lights it, blowing the smoke into the middle of the mess hall. You probably shouldn't smoke here where kids are going to eat. Forget about all of that. You think that we're going to open up camp with that thing running around? 2 people are dead. That is more than enough to get everything shut down. I don't even care about the money anymore, either. I had forgotten about all of it. Shit, rotting in jail cell would be better than dying out here. Let's recover for a bit, then think of a way to break out of here. I have my keys on me. We just have to get to my car and we're out of the building. What if the counselor bus gets here with that thing around? My mind drifts to the thought of that thing being ready as the bus door opens, trapping all of those kids inside as it goes on a rampage. Nothing that we can do about it. I signed up to work at a summer camp, not some nightmare butcher show. We can't just let them die if they show up. We could light something on fire before we leave, like the assembly hall. Something that they can't miss as being fucked up if they make it up here. The words vomit out of my mouth without me thinking about them or being able to stop. That's the smartest idea that I heard from you ever, Bronson. Dale grabs his stomach as it growls loudly through the building. Can we stop for a snack first? Chip and I haven't had anything to eat yet, and I think that I'm gonna pass out after all this running around. This is the one time that I won't yell at you for wanting to eat, fat ass. Duke takes a seat at one of the tables, letting his head hang low between his paws, raised on bent elbows above the table. I think that I need something to eat too. Trisha heads into the kitchen to make herself some food. Janice walks over to Dale, talking to him in hushed words for a few seconds before making it to me. Hey, babe. She kisses me on the lips. I meet her back with faint enthusiasm. Her eyes give away that she notices. I'll make you two something while you guys hold the door, okay? Thanks. What do you want? I don't care about spoiling the meat anymore, so whatever you're feeling. How about a fish sandwich? I smile at her with a grimace. The absurdness of the situation is clear, but I'm really craving something natural and easy to digest for me. Janice smiles, ruffling my head fur a few times. There's a smile wide on her face. That's exactly what Dale wanted too. She takes a moment to say something else, eyes scanning me over a few times. Why are you two just in your underwear, though? Oh, we swam across the lake. It's a lot faster without clothes weighing us down, and we got here in 20 minutes instead of 2 hours. I guess that's fair. There was a terrible crash from the kitchen, the sound of wood snapping accompanying Trisha's screams. The back door! Trisha stumbles through the kitchen door, one of her paws gripping a terrible series of gashes on a forearm. Get to the front! Hurry! The fish creature steps through the kitchen door, the wood splintering off its hinges as it barrels through it with ease. Dill and I are scrambling to tear down the barricade. Janice yells as she finally gets a look at the monster hunting us down. Duke throws a chair at the creature. It splinters as it hits the mass, the monster completely unfazed and unbothered by the sudden impact. Just run! Trisha yells as she trips on a splinter of wood from the desperately thrown chair. Ah! Trisha! We're not even at half of the barricade yet. I'm coming! Duke sprints towards the sheep, desperately trying to help her up. The fish slashes its claws at Trisha, just as Duke pulls her away. Ah! The razor-sharp appendage slashes at the back of Trisha's leg, narrowly missing where their midsection was a moment before Duke pulled her away. I can't stand! Fuck! Trisha collapses even with Duke pulling her up. Get up, Hendrix! I can't carry you all by myself! The sheep is crawling as fast as she can on one leg, a trail of blood connecting her leg to where the creature stands. The monster screeches again. Terrible pain shoots through my ears, stopping me from pulling the barricade down in time. I don't want to die here. I don't want to die. I can't drag you, Trisha. Get up. Trisha tries to stand on her slashed leg, crumbling to the ground in agony as soon as the sheep puts weight on it. The cut is deep. I can't. The beast pierces through her chest, and a moment later, claws almost scraping through Duke's outstretched paw. A gurgle of blood escapes Trisha's lips, the sheep looking down in horror at the blades soaked in her own blood. The creature pulls its paw back, slicing through Trisha's face in an instant. Slabs of sheep meat fall sickly to the floor in pieces. The remaining portion of Trisha's body goes limp as parts of her brain roll out, diced neatly on smooth edges. Trisha! Duke crashes into the barricade, undoing some of the work in his sprint away from the creature. The fish bends down over the body and starts rudely shoveling the bits of meat into its maw. Janice pukes at the sight. Dill and I undo enough of the barricade for Duke to yank the doors open enough for us to get through. Run! We manage to scramble out into the hot sun before the monster can finish dicing up the rest of our friend. It killed her. It just ripped her into two. It... Duke is pulling Janice along by her wrist towards the parking lot. Dill and I follow behind the pair. Shit. Fuck. This is too much. We have to get out of here. Why is this happening? Our life is being torn away from us, bit by bit. For a second time. Just run. We make it to the parking lot, only to find every tire on all three of the vehicles slashed to ribbons. My fucking car! Large slash marks mark dents through the metal around each tire. Forget your fucking car, Duke. How are we gonna get out of here? Just run down the mountain, away from the lake. Duke runs up to his vehicle, crumbling to the floor as he curses, banging against the metal. Why did they have to get my ride? Forget the car, asshole. Dill pushes the weasel away from the useless vehicle, dragging the weasel along the path towards the exit with me and Janice. Just keep going. We jog out of the area, sun beating down on us the whole way. The four of us come to a much more even walking pace, headed away from the camp and towards the base of the mountain about 10 minutes later. Another 10 minutes before Janice collapses to the ground, sobbing uncontrollably. Why? Why did it take them? Why is this happening to us? Looks like it was hunting for food. Duke lights a cigarette. You know, I still thought that it was the two of you until that thing sliced Trisha in two. Are you serious right now? It only makes sense. Some big, strong, tough guy goes missing and winds up drowned, found by two of the most likely to be with him, and the two capable of drowning him? You didn't even care that he was dead. Why were you so quick to throw us under the bus? Figured that it was some sort of lover's quarrel. Maybe he was taking away your precious Dale from you, or the other way around. One or both of you got jealous and took care of it. Janice continues to sob into the dirt, Dale doing his best to comfort her and get her moving again. What is it with you and calling everyone a fag, Duke? I just call them like I see it. What is it to you? If I'm wrong, it shouldn't bother you that much. The weasel's smirk is devious, his eyes practically glowing with smugness. Don't tell me that I'm wrong, Bronson. I always pegged Dale for a queer, but never nailed you down. I heard Janice screaming your name enough times over the years to figure out that she wasn't faking it at the very least. You're an asshole, Tibbets. I bet that you'd like to see mine, huh? Shut up. You are a queer, ain't ya? That's enough, Duke. We have bigger things to worry about right now. You guys don't even deny it anymore. You hear that, Jan? You hear how your big, strong man put out for Otterdick just as much as you do? The weasel can barely contain his laughter, his shit-eating grin stretching wide on his face. I'll tell you what, Bronson. We get out of this, and I won't even tell your pa. Same for you, Cooper. I won't tell either of your daddies. You two owe me big time, though. Whatever, man, this is stupid. Agreeing without even telling you what I want? You're a bold one, Bronson. Shut up, Duke. Please, for once in your miserable life, shut up. Janice whips the snot and tears from her face finally coming to. Our friends are butchered and eaten by some fucking thing, and you're worried about getting your dick wet? Duke's face twists to anger, the weasel flicking the cigarette to the side. Come the fuck again, Adler. The weasel gets down to Janice's face, glaring her eye to eye, their muzzles both locked into hate-filled grimaces almost touching. You heard what I said? Duke doesn't back down, but doesn't retort. Janice responds to this silence with a vicious slap across his face, the weasel's head turning from the force of the impact. That's for suggesting my boyfriend cheated on me. Another slap across his face, the opposite cheek this way. And that's for being stupid enough to ask him to do it again in front of me. What is she talking about? Janice walks away from Duke, the weasel too stunned to respond. Dale jogs to catch up with the coyote, the pair walking ahead of us down the road. Let's go, asshole. We shouldn't get out of their sight with what's been happening. Duke grumbles under his breath but keeps up with me. I lose track of time as we walk down the mountain. The heat soaks through my fur. I'm happy that I ditched my black shirt hours ago by now. Janice has her blouse partially unbuttoned as the heat continues to beat us down. Whose idea was it not to grab any water? The fish freaks, when he killed Trisha right in front of us when we were trying to grab a bite to eat? Guess I can't argue with that. We should be at the bend in the road by now, right? It was happening again. The mountain was warping itself around, keeping us trapped. There's something just ahead. Maybe that's it? We continue towards the distance, where a bend in the road appears to start just ahead of us. Do you guys think that it's my fault? That Trisha is dead? Why do you think that, Dale? I'm the one who brought up food, and she agreed and went back there. Well, if it wasn't her, it would have been Janice. Duke says it flatly. Then I would have gotten Jan killed. Janice glares at the weasel. Hey man, we were only doing what made sense at the time. There is no one to blame for any of it, okay? I walk up next to Dale and rub his back a few times, moving my paw up and down his forearm for a few last pats. We just gotta stick together, yeah? No more splitting up. You two hear that? I turn my head to Duke and Janice. Oh God, of course. I'm not promising anything, but it does sound smarter to stay together. The leaves continue to crunch under our feet. They're warmed from the sun, almost burning at times on my bare webbing. This might be insensitive with all that's happened, but I'm glad that I'm with all of you guys still. Just like any other day in Echo, huh? Like we were kids again, coming back down the mountains or the lake, when our parents were too lazy to drive us. Just with everyone else dropping dead around us. It's like that in Echo too, remember? Has anyone come back from the draft? That sours my mood more than Duke pointing out our friends just dead. I'm pretty sure that this is different, more serious than dying for our country. Do you think anyone is going to believe us? After this is all said and done, is anyone going to take what happened seriously? They might not even find any bodies after what we saw it do. You guys don't think that it's a person, right? I've heard stories about giant apes in the mountains, ones that start to lose their fur and walk hunched over, like they're still feral, but nothing about it down here, and nothing that's a fish person. I've heard about those too. Bigfoot, right? My mom talked about it a few years back. There were sightings when we were all still young, and it got popular after that. My dad says that they're just for the news articles, phony things to get people to read, but I believe in them. A lot of the comics and magazines that I read talk about him every few months. I don't believe in any Bigfoot. I've been hunting plenty of times with my pa and brothers. None of the others at the compound have heard of him either. It would be something a clan of hunters has seen or heard of if he was real. Well, have you heard of crazy fish people who eat other people with giant claws? No. But people don't talk about crazy fish people who eat other people. People talk about Bigfoot. If so many people have reported spotting him, certainly some religious nutjobs would have caught him by now, right? The magazines say that there is a group of people who have rejected fur. They peel off and shave it off and live on the land to get in touch with their natural side, even if it's backwards from taking their fur off. A lot of the times they're called fleshies, but that's more of the rude way of saying it than anything else. What's a polite way of saying it? Dale cups his paws in his paws and whispers something into Duke's ear. That's nasty. Dale whispers to Duke again. You know, I've thought about it in real life before. You guys are fucking stupid. We're at the bend of the road now, all of us stopping before turning the corner without communicating that we were going to wait. This is the point of no return, right? Chip? Janice goes to hold my paw. I let her take it, doing my best not to flinch away. Dale looks at the both of us for a second, eyes darting to where our paws are conjoined. His paw twitches for a second, like it's reaching for my free paw. I want him to reach out and hold it so badly. Let's get this over with. Dale spits out a cigarette, snuffing the flame out with his foot. We take the last corner together, easier to see what's out of sight from the tree line, only to be met with the entrance sign to the camp sitting just a few 100 feet ahead of us. No. Janice curls herself into me, forcing me to hold her up as she sobs into my bare chest. She weighs me down more than I remember. Well, looks like we're stuck here. Did we get turned around? Just head back after a while? Just like the drive over here, and no, we did not get turned around. This doesn't make any sense. Why can't we leave? How was any of this possible? I just want to go home. Janice manages to mutter between sobs. We need a plan. Dale looks to me. What should we do, Chip? I don't know. Maybe get the gun? It's worth a shot. You guys got the keys to the building, though? We didn't check Ernesto for... So we have to go by the lake and hope Ernesto hasn't been eaten by now? I guess so, yeah. Shit. Duke grumbles, fishing in his pockets for a few seconds before pulling out 2 keys and holding them in his open paw. I'll go for it. I'm the fastest out of all of you. Plus, I don't trust any of you to not fuck it up. What are these for? The keys to the nurse's station. Take them in case we don't make it back. You sound like you're so sure that you're gonna die. Why are you volunteering yourself then? Because I'm the only one who has what it takes to save the rest of you. Don't go near the water then. Just let me or Chip do it. We're stronger under there, with it. You said it was faster than you. Double the speed, right? Yeah. And you saw the way that it ripped through Trisha? Another person's head being torn to pieces that I'll never stop thinking about. I nod my head. Then neither of you can fight it in the water, so we're gonna fight it where it's weaker and do our best to stay out of the water. Duke. Don't cry for me yet. Haven't died on you so far. I walk up to the weasel and hold my paw out for a shake. He grabs it with his paw as we kneel and touching each other's chests for a soft moment before leaning out of the embrace. Star quarterback to the end, huh? Won't be as easy as high school. I won't have you to back me up this time. Gonna have to miss passing you my balls. Why does that always happen with you two? The walk back into camp is uneventful, but quiet at least. We creep through the field, sticking to the sides of the buildings, as best as we can, trying to look out for the monster. The field is empty, and there is nothing in front of the mess hall. My stomach growls, quietly thankfully, and I'm tempted to go in. But even if it isn't in there, I probably couldn't bring myself to eat in the same room where one of my friends died. And finally to the pier by the river, right where this all began. Dale makes sure that it's clear before motioning us with his paw to sit in the shrubs near the river. We duck into them, foliage rustling when Dale's tail gets stuck in it for a second, followed by my tail causing just as much noise, just as Dale gets through. Bronson, come with me. Duke is talking in a whisper. Keep an eye on the water. You can see and feel it better than I can. I'll go up to the wolf and search through his pockets. I nod and the two of us set off, leaving Dale and Janice waiting for us outside near the dock. It's darker inside the boathouse than it should be. The heat isn't as suffocating, lapping off the gentle lake, just barely rocking the canoes in the water. Ernesto's body has been moved from where we left it. The sheet that was covering him is now floating in the water just outside the entrance to the lake. The wolf is draped over the canoe, bobbing up and down like he had been cradled to sleep. Duke looks at me. He points two of his fingers to his eyes and then a finger to me, followed by a finger pointed to the water. I nod as he puts our plan into motion. My eyes are fully scanning over the water level, looking for anything strange or moving. That monster is fast, but it still has mass. It still makes the gentle surface move with its speed and ferocity. It's dark in the boathouse too, but the shape of something that massive moving in the clean and clear water should at least be somewhat obvious. Duke leans down to the edge of the dock, paws going for Ernesto's jean pocket. He fiddles around with the corpse's clothes, face looking away in disgust as he makes contact, his paw reaching further and further into the clothing. The weasel retracts his paw and leans down further, stretching himself over Ernesto's body on the canoe to reach for the other pocket. My eyes dart back to the water, suddenly remembering that's what I should have been doing. The Duke's strained face is at the edge of my vision, the rest of me staring deeply into the water, scanning for anything that could be wrong. That's when Duke loses his balance, wobbling back and forth over his leaning position, threatening to fall onto Ernesto and into the water. He does his best to steady himself, leaning backwards and forwards over the awkward position, paw still stuck in the pocket he was picking and knees awkwardly on the edge of the dock. I scramble over to him, extending my paw for him to anchor to. Duke reaches out just before he was about to spin backwards and fall onto Ernesto's lap. My legs walk backwards with our arms still connected, pulling him to the center of the dock as a weasel gets his paws out of Ernesto's pocket. We make it to the center of the dock, Duke's paws resting on the solid wooden planks as he gets his bearings. Got it. Duke exhales a loud cheer from his toothy grin as he reveals the master key ring to all of the buildings in the camp. Nice. My words are caught off guard by a scaled and clawed paw smashing a hole directly through the wooden planks just inches in front of Duke. The fish person's claw tenses, stabbing Duke through his chest and ribs before grabbing onto his midsection. Roar! Blood gurgles from the weasel's throat. Duke looks at me, eyes wide with fear. Then the paw pulls him downwards through the smashed open hole in the wood. It's much too small for a fully grown weasel to fit through. There is a terrible gurgling and tearing sound as a half-scream rings out from the hole for a split second, the rest of the sound drowned out by the thrashing in the water. The wooden planks splinter and bend from the force. A few scraps of Duke's clothing remain scratched and caught on the splinters, now covered in blood and viscera. My feet move before my brain can catch up, the grisly scene still running through my head. He never had the chance to get me the keys. Janice and Dale pop their heads out from the brush. Run! The two scramble, doing their best to get out of the foliage and onto the main path. Dale's tail gets stuck again, my full sprint coming to a skidding stop. I got you. I fumble with his tail, grabbing it to the side and trying to pull him through. It unhitches with a loud snap, the otter wincing in pain. Where's Duke? Just go. The three of us sprint back down into the campground. Go to the nurse's station. We head past the mess hall and onto the two buildings next to each other on the other side. Janice has the key, pulling it from her pockets on trembling paws. Give me a second. She's scratching it outside the lock, paws jittering too much to line it up with the keyhole. Give me the key, babe. I got it. She fidgets faster, tears starting to run down her face. You probably can't even see it anymore. Just give me the key. I try to take it from her. No, don't touch me. I can do this. Janice. Dale places his large paw on Janice's shoulder. The coyote is heaving, breath short as she looks up at the larger otter. It's okay. Take a second to breathe. His voice is calm, relaxing. Just like when we were together. We're gonna be okay. Okay? Dale nods a few times. Janice, sniffling, wiping her face, and nods after him. Just put the key in my paw, and I'll let us in. He opens his free paw. Janice drops the key on it, her paw still violently shaking. Thank you. Dale smiles wide at her, taking the time to reassure her instead of just opening the door. She stands aside, giving the bigger guy some room to squeeze in. The lock opens with a click, and we rush inside a few moments later. Janice collapses into a nearby chair, face devoid of any emotion. Help me move this desk. We scurry over to a metal desk in the neat office and grab each side of it, lifting it and quickly propping it against the door, its tabletop contents spilling onto the floor around us. Let's get these filing cabinets on top, then the chairs that we're not using. It is a steady process, barricading the only entrance with as much weight and heft as we can. A couple more waiting room chairs prop up against the weighed-down furniture, the door securely blocked for now. The two of us collapse against the barricade, our chests breathing heavy in exhaustion. Duke's gone, yeah? I nod. Say it. Say it out loud, so I don't have to think about it, so some part of me doesn't waste away on hope. Please, Chip. Duke didn't make it. Janice stares off into the distance, face going completely still, a single tear rolling down her face. Dale pats my shoulders a few times. I look towards him. He tries to speak, his words getting caught in his throat a few times before being able to get the words out. I need a break, Chip. We've been going all day. Yeah, let's take some time to rest. Do you think that there's some water in here? Maybe in the back room? It would make sense for a nurse to have access to clean water. Dale scrambles up from his seated position and heads over to the back. There's one in here, and a couple of cups. I scurry after him to the back. There is a hallway with a locked room to the side leading to the back portion. There is a couple of cots and a medicine cabinet along one of the walls. A sink sits against the closest wall. Dale has poured himself a glass already, the otter downing it in a few gulps. Drink, Chip. You needed to. He turns on the faucet, filling his glass up again before offering a cup to me. We're back there for a few minutes, silence as we down gulps after gulps of fresh water for the first time in almost 20 hours. My stomach starts to hurt, but the rest of my body feels rested. I should go get Janice back here. My girlfriend is still in the chair, having not moved the entire time that we've been in here. Jan? She doesn't respond to me. Let's go to the back. It's probably safer back there, a bit quieter. I offer my paw to her. She takes it, leaning on me with the wobbly legs as we make our way to the back. Janice grabs a cup of water and finishes it in a few seconds. She shambles up to a cot and hops on, lies down on her side and closes her eyes. A pathetic whimper hisses out between her lips as her body relaxes. We should let her rest. Yeah. The two of us head to the entrance office, letting the coyote get some sleep. Do you really think that we're gonna get out of this, Chip? To tell you the truth, I don't know anymore. Dale pulls me into a hug, a few sniffles escaping his maw. I'm glad that I was able to be here with you, Bronson, to share what time we had. I'm happy that we got to be friends. He holds me tighter. Thank you. For last night. For showing me that kind of stuff. It was special. Yeah, it was. Something special. I've wanted that for a while. For you to be inside me. To take me like that. Guys, she's literally right there. That was embarrassing when you say it like that. I wanted you to know. It's because I really care about you. I wanted to really show you. Because you're just so special to me, Chip. He grabs the side of my face with both of his paws and brings our muzzles down together. I open my mouth to kiss him, but he settles for rubbing his nose against mine, our whiskers touching from the side-to-side motion. No matter what happens, I'll never forget you. Cooper. Promise me that you won't forget me. Whether if I die and you don't, or when you figure out who you want to be with. If it isn't me, then just promise me that you won't forget about me. I won't forget about you, Dale. You're... Tears are starting to choke my words. You're my best friend. We pull each other into a hug and enjoy the closeness for a few long while. There's one last thing that we need to talk about, though. Yeah? What is it? Are you gonna tell Janice about what we did, Chip? It's the only way that we can actually try to be together when we get back home, after what we did to her. I'm going to stick with this decision. This isn't a lie. I'm about to tell him. Yes, I'll tell her about us. It's only fair that she knows, especially if this is the last chance that we ever get to talk. Thank you, Chip. We walk to the back room with each other, letting go of each other's paw just before walking in. Janice is just waking up from her nap, her face much more calm and relaxed than earlier. How long was I out for? An hour, at most. It feels like it's been ages. Everything's so sore and cold. Do you need a blanket? Dale brings Janice a blanket from a pile of them on the other cot. She wraps herself up in it and sighs quietly. Why is it so cold? I think it's the shakes. Why now? What do you mean by that? Dale looks at the two of us like he hasn't pieced it together yet. I don't want to tell him. It might be the last chance to. Don't say that. How about we tell him, so he knows? And then I have something that I need to tell you too. Ugh. She says it with such disdain. Fine. Dale? Yeah? Me and Jan are... She can't get pregnant from you, right? Shut up, Dale. We're going through some things. Some serious things. We all are. Aside from the crazy fish person. Like we were using hard and too often. You guys have been on meth this whole time? Not since coming up here. We quit. Cold for this. That's almost as stupid as getting spun on it in the first place. I know. This is why you got mad that day, isn't it? Before we left. You did throw a fit. That doesn't matter now. It mattered to me then, with how tore up you were inside, how sad it made you, and how it was all over drugs? Yeah. The three of us sit in silence for a few minutes. I told you we shouldn't have told him. Janice fidgets uncomfortably under the sheets again. And you've just been barreling through all of it? All the withdrawals? We haven't had a choice. Are you that hard up on money? You said your job messed up your check, but then you fixed it, right? There's only one thing we can't ever tell him. Things are hard. An echo. I know. Almost everyone else is caught up on meth too. You know what it does to people, right? You've seen them, all of them. Yeah. Then why? You don't know what it's like. You're set. You have a steady job. A business that you're gonna own. A home that you know will be yours. My life isn't as easy or perfect. No, but it's better than ours. Is it really so bad for you, Chip? I feel... The words scratch at my throat. I feel trapped. And it helps me with that. It makes me feel like I can escape. Like I can go anywhere and do anything. Be with anyone. Do you hate living in Echo that much? That you throw everything away just to feel like you're not there? Sometimes. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because your daddy is my boss and would throw me out in a heartbeat if he knew that I got spun on my days off. Well, why not, Bronson? I could have helped you. Because it wasn't something that we should talk about in public. It isn't right. There was a lot of things like that, and with just me, ain't in public. You know that more than anyone. I'm sorry. I mean it. Dale stumbles over to me, pulling me into a full-body hug. His arms wrap around my back and hold me tight. His softness envelops me, the larger otter dwarfing me in almost every way. Chip. Dale sniffles a bit, a few tears rolling down from his face and down my shoulders. I think that it's time that Jan knows now. I can't believe that I'm actually going to do this. What do I need to know? The two of us face the coyote. Dale looks awkwardly to his side. Oh God, please tell me that Eliza isn't pregnant. I'll tear her throat out next time that I see her if it's yours, Bronson. No, it's nothing like that. Well, sort of. What did you two do now? Janice, I'm not really about to do this. Janice, I'd look to Dale. Me and Dale... Just tell me. We hooked up. We messed around, like you and me do, like a man and a woman are supposed to. Just last night, before any of this scary shit happened. My face is burnt red, tears welling up on the side of my eyes. It wasn't an accident either, not a drunken dare or a mistake. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so hard to keep going. But I have feelings for him, just like I have feelings for you. They're not the exact same, but they're similar. Like I care about you both, but... And... It's like ash in my mouth. And I don't want to leave your side, either of you. It always hurts, a part of me when you and me aren't together, like I'm supposed to be with the both of you, like it's who I am. Janice continues to look at me, her face blank. I don't think that I'm a fag. I'm not a queer like the others. I still love you. I still love how you make me feel, in my heart, in my pants. But you have to know. You have to know that I betrayed your trust. My eyes sting, tears rolling down my muzzle. I'm sorry. She continues to stare at us, face completely stoic still. You two haven't fucked till just yesterday? Her voice is completely calm, like it's the most normal thing in the world. What are you talking about? You haven't fucked Dale Cooper's flabby, wide ass until yesterday? How do you know who fucked who? Well, for one, your asshole is in my face when you fuck my mouth like a wild animal. When we're really going at it. And it certainly looks pretty tight to me. Dale's face drops into a shocked expression. So you thought we were fucking before? And didn't say anything? You don't care? There wasn't another woman, was there? No, just me and Chip. Then I don't care. I thought you two have been doing it for years, to be honest. Hell, even before we got together. Why didn't you? Because you always think like him when you spend the night at his house, Bronson. More than two guys sharing a room. Like he poured a gallon of his sweat on you. Do you two just share the same bed and sheets or something? Yeah? You don't care? About me being a fag or that I cheated on you? Well, you're definitely not fully a fag. No man can pretend loving me that well. And I figured that it was some kind of Mormon thing. You were with him first, or so I thought, and I figured that I could be the main wife, seeing as I am the girl and all. You just went along with it. This whole time without saying anything? Well, you couldn't get either of us pregnant, so it's not like we were locked into anything. Dale and I could have been fucking this whole time, just as much as I screwed Janice. Well, if it helps, I'm glad that you told me, I guess. Shows you do care. Even if you're a dumbass. This can't be happening. I got jealous over the wolf asking you to go with him instead of us. Like, who does that? Thanks for not going with him, by the way. I thought you didn't care that I like guys too. I didn't want you cheating on me. Dill was there first in your little pretend sister-wife thing, so I didn't ask. But as long as I'm your number one gal, that's what matters. We should get some rest. Dill passes me a blanket from the stack before hopping on one of the cots himself. There is an empty cot between him and Janice. Should we take turns watching the front? If it knows that we're in here, we can't really do anything about it. Dale throws a blanket over himself, turning to the side and resting his head on the pillow. Janice does the same, tossing the other way. I scramble into the bed, lying between the two, eyes wide at the ceiling above me, just as dusk starts to glaze over the high windows in the back room. Good night, babe. Good night, Bronson. I love you. See you tomorrow. My head hits the pillow, the insistent throbbing finally starting to recede. I love you both. Sleep takes me fast into a dreamless night. I admit that Janice is not my favorite, but this is the best outcome, I guess. I'm awoken by the feeling of Dale rubbing my shoulder, his face tired and soft in the dim light. Wake up, Bronson. We have to figure out a way out of here. It's already been a few hours. We should be good to go by now. The otter stumbles into the center hallway. The sound of Janice humming from it gets my brain to focus on what's happening. Coming. I head over to the pair, Janice hard at work poking and prodding at the locked door in front of us. It looks like there's some chemicals in there. Maybe something that we can use to fight the monster with? I don't know anything about no chemicals, do you? Not at all. Well, there's a bottle of cleaning alcohol in there. Maybe we can use them just for some fire? Are we gonna kill Frankenstein now? Burn him to death with the torches? It's better than staying in here for the rest of our lives. Dale's stomach growls. There's no food after all. The handle falls off with a thud, clanging to the floor. How did you do that? Found a knife and a screwdriver. Wasn't too hard after that. Remind me to ask your daddy for some maintenance advice. Janice giggles, breaking into the open room. A shelf of chemicals and bandages line the wall. A small refrigerator sits in the corner of the room. It has a label that reads, not for food or drink storage. I don't know what any of this is except for the alcohol. Let's take that and get out of here. Do we really need that? I was thinking. Trisha said that she was next to a fire after Ernesto didn't make it back, right? Yeah. What if that's why the monster didn't get her? Maybe it's afraid of fire. That seems like a leap in logic. Well, we don't have anything else to go by, do we? No. Then we're making a fire. Dale, get these in the satchel for us. Dale makes a makeshift sack out of a blanket, placing the bottles of disinfectant-grade alcohol into it before he heads to the front door. He slings it over his shoulder, wearing it like a backpack. Where are we going to go after this? To the Arts and Craft building. See if there's anything there that we can use as supplies before we hit the mess hall. Sounds as good as anything else that we have planned. Dale and I set about dismantling the barricade, making sure to remain as quiet as possible in the process. It takes a bit longer to take it apart than it did to set it up, but we manage after a few minutes. Quiet now. We creak open the door, peering out into the summer evening sky. There is no sign of the creature or anyone else at the camp. I creep out of the building, looking above me to the roof just in case it was standing above us. Nothing. Let's keep moving. We hustle to the Arts and Craft building. Janice gets down on one knee, jiggling the lock with a knife and screwdriver to break it. Dill is standing back to back with me, the two of us looking for any signs of the monster. I want to hurry Janice along in fear and panic, but also encourage her to get it done quicker, but I refuse to make a sound. Janice gets the lock off. The metal handle falls to the floor, just a few moments away from clanging loudly against the ground. Dill manages to catch it with his tail, holding it in a wince from the sharp pain. We pile in together a second later, practically heaving from holding our breaths so tight. Ugh, what are we looking for? Anything that we can burn. Dill and I start pouring through the supplies. The building mostly a mess, scattered art supplies strewn about. There is a bunch of 2x4s. We can use those for a torch base. There are some dusty sheets that might work. Good. Wrap them around the stick in a ball. I'll douse them with the alcohol and get them going. These are just gonna burn up in flames in an instant. We need something heavier that'll stay burnt. I'll keep looking. We can get the bonfire going, the one in the center of the campers' cabins. Why not by the director's cabin? If rescue comes, we'll be closer to the entrance. Fine. You do think that this will be enough to start it? I have no idea. How's this? Dale brings a heavy set of materials in front of us. It's thick and scratchy, like heavy burlap. That's perfect. We can throw it on the fire after we started with the old sheets. Wooden paw soaked in cleaning alcohol, we head out back into the campground. Past the mess hall. And into the center of the camp. Dale and I start to build the fire, stacking the wooden patterns. I half remember seeing Ernesto and Duke stack to make the bonfire at the director's cabin. There's nothing yet, no creature, no monster waiting to tear us limb from limb, just an eerie stillness. The birds and insects too, afraid to sing in their warm summer night. Once we're done, Janice douses the wood in the rest of the rubbing alcohol. Do you have a lighter? No. I do. Janice pulls out Duke's lighter from her pocket, the coyote sniffling at the sight of it. When did you? Out when we were walking. He wanted me to have it. Said that he had a feeling that I might need it, you know? I thought that he was just making a weed joke. Janice. Come on, we don't have enough time to think about it now. There it is! Dale points towards the assembly hall. The monster spots us from the side of the building, arms going wide, claws sharp and pointy as ever. Dale throws a sack of heavy cloths over the wood. He's coming! The monster walks up to us at an even pace, gurgling and hissing as it wiggles its claws back and forth ever so slightly. This is for Duke, asshole! Janice lights the fire pit, soaked in alcohol, with Duke's lighter, which causes a small explosion, the three of us tumbling to the ground. By the time that I orient myself, Janice is running straight ahead towards the creature, body covered in flames. Ah! Her screams are visceral and violent. She swats at herself uselessly, trying to put out her ignited skirt. Janice! She collapses to the ground, doing her best to roll and put out the fire. The fish thing hisses and swipes at her, too afraid to come near the fire. Wait! It's working! Don't put it out! Dale's voice is too late. Janice manages to smother most of the fire, her skin and fur burnt in disfiguring patterns. Help me! The coyote manages to choke out, eyes wide and staring at the both of us. The fish takes the opportunity, walking straight behind Janice and tearing into her throat with its teeth. Janice tries to scream, blood pouring into her windpipes as her burnt arms tries to close the wound. No! The creature skewers her a second later, blade claws piercing deeper into her skull. The coyote goes limp, no longer in pain. Everything is red now. I grab one of the makeshift torches, lighting the end of it wrapped in cloth. Fucking die, asshole! Wait! Dale pulls me back by the scruff of my neck. Let go of me! It killed Jan! I have to do it! I have to kill it! The creature continues to tear and rip into Janice, tearing her apart and consuming the leftover giblets. What are you going to do against that? How are we going to stop it? It slices into her body again, like it was made of paper. I don't know. The tears really start to flow now. Everything really starts to crash onto me. My friends, my girlfriend, almost everyone I loved is dead. Dale holds onto me as I collapse onto him. I think that I can hear a few sniffles from him, but he holds his facade, staying strong for me, standing tall for the both of us. I fit so perfectly into his larger size, like the two of us were made to be together. It's comforting, even if it might be one of the last sensations that I get to experience. Come on, we have to figure something out. Dale shakes me out of my stupor just as the fish monster finishes up with the rest of Janice. It turns to us, barreling straight towards us, stopping just a few feet away from us, our backs as close to the fire as it starts to circle. Janice was right. It's the fire. The creature hisses, taking a few faint claw swipes at us. It isn't close to reaching us even with its ridiculously long claws, just continuing to circle more and more. We have to use the fire. Maybe we can run, get away from it. No. No more running. We have to stop it. We have to put an end to it right now. How do we do that? The bonfire crackles and spits behind us. The heavy cloth catches fire, the bonfire burning brighter. The creature hisses, raising a claw and pulling back a few more feet. This is how. I grab one of the sticks of wood left in the bonfire and wrap it with the strips of cloth that we had left over. It takes some time getting it to break apart. Thankfully, the fire burns long and strong enough to keep the creature back. Light it, and we're gonna kill it. Dale copies me, getting another torch ready. Thank God you got that extra material. I don't think that most of it would have made it past the explosion. What was that stuff you grabbed? I think it was robes. Like the Klan? We're working for a bunch of racists? No. Well, not exactly. It felt weird like that, though. Like it was from some kind of club or something. Do you think that the 2 torches will be enough to take it down? No. But I have this. He points to the sack still in his back, another bottle of alcohol on the back. Before we go after it, throw it at that thing. We're going to get him back. We're taking everything. Everyone. Dale nods, fishing his torch out from the fire and holding it in his paw. Are you ready, Dale? 1 second. He grabs us out of my face, turning me up into him. Dale kisses me, swirling his tongue against my lips. I let him in one more time. I let him explore me, giving myself to him. I can only taste the soot and ash from the fire behind us, only the memories of Janice burning, of Duke being shredded to chunks, of everyone that I knew and cared for dying in front of me, of that damn wolf left dead on the docks. But I give Dale this moment, in case it's our last. I'm ready now. Yeah. The creature continues to circle us, snapping and clawing ineffectively at the range. We got one shot at this. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Dale smiles at me, then passes me his torch before fishing out the bottle of alcohol from his back. So, am I going to be your girl after this, Chip? There is a clear sarcasm in his voice, like he knows that it's corny, or even inappropriate after Janice just died in front of the 2 of us. But it makes me laugh all the same. It makes me feel wanted and loved, like Dale has done for me practically my entire life. No, I don't think so. Aw, why not? There is a slight crack in his voice, but he keeps the facade up a bit still. 'Cause you're gonna be my man. Dale grins wide, his paw unclapping the bottle in one smooth motion. I thought you'd never ask. The creature stops to scream at us again. Dale takes the opportunity to chuck the bottle straight into the open maw, catching it perfectly in its beyond razor-sharp teeth, clamped down on the liquid. The alcohol bursts out, coating the creature on the inside and out, the monster screaming and thrashing its head. Now! We rush down to the monster, torches raised high and long like spears. We make contact before it can react. Still sputtering from being covered in alcohol, it ignites almost instantly, screaming and thrashing its arms wildly. Shit! Its claws manage to break Dale's makeshift torch, the otter raising his arm in reflex. The wood shatters in an instant, the claws raking against the tip of Dale's forearm. Dale backs off, injured and scared as the creature continues to cry out and sputter in pain. This is my chance. I grab the splinter 2x4, the handle ripped out of Dale's paws, rushing the creature, flailing as it burns to nothing. This is for Janice! I bring down the wood hard into the blistering and boiling skin, the wood finding purchase in the weakened hide. This is for Duke and Trisha! Another set of stabs and punctures into it, this time going for its throat. And Miriam and Ernesto! The flames singe at me, its skin acting like a fuel source as it ignites and burns again and again from the inside. This is for ruining my life! A final strike plunges into its softened skull. Shit. Everything hurts. My paws and forearms get scorched as I back off, walking backwards to make sure that it stayed down, back to the safety of the bonfire, back to Dale. Dale covers his eyes and starts to cry. They're not coming back, are they? The sound of the police and fire truck sirens pulls up from the road. Sounds of shouting and vehicles pulling in from just the other side of the assembly hall rings out, just over the sound of burning flesh in front of me. No, they're not. I'm so tired, Chip. I'm scared still. I won't let anything happen to you. I drop the plank of wood next to me. I know, Bronson. I know. And that was the end of Dale's route. So, yeah. I admittedly would have liked for Janice to have survived. But, like, considering how the Janice route also ended, where it was just the two of them, it kind of made sense that it was only going to be Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale. Please tell me that somebody also finds that kind of funny, the names Chip and Dale. Please. But yeah. First things first. As I continue to read this visual novel, and this is probably only because this is like the first iteration of the visual novel, I do find that it is a little bit hard to read at times. And I think that it's just because somebody just needs to go through it and just, clean it up a little, because there are some like mistakes here and there, or some like words that are missing, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But like maybe just in Spanish you call it una mano de gato, where you just sort of go and, just really quickly like fix some things here and there, polish it up a little, I guess is the right word that I'm looking for. And I think that that's probably what's going to happen when the next update happens, or like I guess the next update would be the final update, because it would include the Ernesto, the Miriam, and who else is left? And the Duke routes. Because right now the only other route that is available is the Trisha route. So yeah. Also, it is nice to see that at least this portion happened a little bit differently than, it happened completely differently because it had a completely different killer than the Janice one, which is actually really nice to see, because it meant that I wasn't just going to be reading the same thing over and over. But yeah, that's pretty gruesome how the people died, but like, yeah. Yeah. Anywho, It is interesting to see that each route has its own killer, and I'm wondering if there is a specific reason, because the killer for this one was a fish monster. The killer for the Janus route was a disfigured bear. So I'm wondering if there is something like, oh look, there's Dale now. I'm wondering if it's themed after the person that you choose. So if I pick Trisha, is it gonna be a fox? Because, you know, it's the Hendrix family, you know, has a thing with the Begay family, you know, because they kind of threw John Begay under the bus, you know. I don't know. We'll see when we get to Trisha's route. It is also kind of nice that, like, if things had worked out, these three would have been together. But yeah, it is kind of funny that it would have been like a polyamorous group, because you don't really see that all that often. But, like, you know, one of them died. I don't know if that means that eventually Chip would have found another girl who would have been okay with him being with Dale. But, like, yeah, who knows. Anywho, so yeah. What else? I am liking it so far, because again, there is apparently a separate killer per person. And the deaths are different, which is very good. Like, yeah, really good. So yeah, I am overall enjoying it. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching/listening. If you would like to play Camp Ash yourself, or stay up to date with what's going on with it, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game. They do not have any formal support because, you know, it being a Echo fan game, it seems kind of like in poor taste to do that, like to make money off of somebody's other work. But, like, if there was some form of supporting the person writing these visual novels, because I believe that there is another one that they made that centers around Leo too. I mean, that's 2 visual novels centering around Leo now. I wonder why. Then, you know, just like a little Ko-fi, you know, for the person that has nothing to do with their visual novels. Anyways, but yeah. What else? What was I saying? If there's anything like that, it will be linked down in the description. If you'd like to support the channel, though, you can become a channel member, and you do get earlier access to these videos as they're being scheduled. And like I said, it does help support me, and it does sort of like show, like, hey, I like your videos. Here's some money on a monthly basis. Also, in case you want to support, you know, through Ko-fi, there is that too. All of those links down in the description, as well as the Throne, in case you're feeling overly generous and have, you know, the extra money, you know, support the Throne. Buy me stuff. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you in the Trisha route.